Today, we have got everything you need to know about the year's biggest game, Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Plus Spec Ops The Line multiplayer, Devil May Cry, and your first look at the live-action Ghost Recon Alpha. X-Play starts right now.
Hello and welcome to X-Play. I'm Morgan Webb.
You are. And I'm Blair Herder. If we're your role models, your parents are terrible human beings.
Coming up on today's show, we've got all the details about Spec Ops The Line multiplayer. This game will make you hate and fear sand. Then we've got some games that are fun to play and can be enjoyed by the whole family. Here's the best part, they are not obnoxious bores.
Yeah, plus we're going to have the latest on DMC, aka Devil May Cry. This is not a sequel or a prequel, but a full-on reboot of the entire series. And later, a combat preview of Max Payne 3. Find out why you'll be using a cover system in Rockstar's latest. Here's a hint, everybody's shooting a lot of bullets at you.
It's a good reason.
Yes.
But first, it is time to talk about gaming's biggest franchise.
Yeah, Activision has spilled the beans on the next chapter in the series Black Ops 2.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Yeah, you play as the son of Alex Mason, the main character from the last game, and it's the future.
Whoa. There's a new Cold War in the future. We're enemies with China, and there's actually a ton of new technology on the battlefield. You
won't be playing the standard linear COD campaign. We've got all the details on that and more in this preview.
They'll always need men like us. Those who are willing to do what others cannot.
In the 21st century, technology will be your greatest asset. Tensions will run cold and battles will be fought in the shadows. Get ready for the future of war because this is Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is a direct sequel to Call of Duty Black Ops 1, which means you are going to find out and play with those characters that you played with from that first Cold War. But it is an epic game that spans generations. And in fact, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 takes place a little more than a decade out in the year 2025. You're going to experience this game as David Mason, who's the son of Alex Mason from Black Ops 1. And you're going to be experiencing a fictional Cold War II that we've crafted.
Treyarch recruited knowledgeable experts such as Peter Singer to help craft what the world might look like in the future.
He's helped us create this very rich, plausible future fiction. And it just so happens that in the year 2012, one country controls about 95% or more of these rare earth elements production, and that's China. What it's done is really provided us this wealth of real life information to be able to create this plausible scenario 10 years out. And in fact, set up what our second Cold War will be.
Batman Begins writer David Goyer will also develop the villain that goads this Cold War on.
One of the most significant and challenging goals that they wanted to take on was they wanted to create a three-dimensional villain. And that's going to manifest itself in the game in a very significant way. The first part of the Cold War that you're going to experience, which is in the 1980s, is all about playing as those characters from Black Ops 1, but through their eyes, you're gonna see how that villain's motivations are manifested. And then it's in the year 2025, where most of our game takes place, you're gonna see just what that villain is capable of. And more interestingly, you're gonna have the background for this villain.
With a war set in the future, developing military technologies that exist today will make their way into the game.
I think it's very important if you're going to create a game that's set in the next decade that it's grounded and plausible. So we had that as a sort of a core tenet when we were coming up with our technology. Right now there's Metal Storm technology examples out in the world where it fires like 1 million rounds every 60 seconds. That is incomprehensible. That's not something that gunpowder does. Well, imagine if you had a charge shot mechanic where the longer you held down your controller, it queued up additional firepower so that you could actually then penetrate the surfaces that you can now see behind.
Black Ops 2 will also introduce a new mode called Strike Force. Here you'll pick and choose which conflicts to resolve both from a micro and macro level.
You'll be able to play as a Black Ops soldier. You'll be able to move between which one of those you want to play with the weapons that each of them have. You could take over the drones on the battlefield, whether they're the flying drones with the quad or some of the ground assault drones, or you can play it in Overwatch mode. You can do your setups in Overwatch mode and then zoom down to play and take over any part of that battlefield.
As for multiplayer, developers aim to make the game accessible to new players while improving the game's competitive elements for seasoned veterans.
So with Call of Duty Black Ops 2, we are looking at the world of esports. And I think as important as it is to make sure that the game is competitive, it also has to be fun to spectate and to watch. We have a desire to make that experience rich for everybody.
And of course, we can't forget about everyone's other favorite mode.
And then there's zombies, you know, the return of a co-op mode that we created here at Treyarch for Call of Duty, and that's gonna come back in a big way. There's a new world that we're creating just for zombies players with all kinds of new gameplay.
More dead zombies on the way!
Sounds like the complete package. Black Ops 2 will change the way you fight for the future when it releases on November 13th, 2012.
Tomorrow night, X-Play will debut the super secret live-action movie Ghost Recon Alpha.
Yeah, this prequel to Ghost Recon Future Soldier is so big, it's going to take up the entire half hour, and it's definitely worth a watch.
Check out this trailer. Imagine if that clip were 20 times longer. That will be on X-Play tomorrow night.
Be sure to tune in for the premiere of Ghost Recon Alpha. You do not want to miss this.
This half-hour live-action movie produced by Ubisoft Motion Pictures is a prequel to the upcoming game Ghost Recon Future Soldier.
And the movie's setting will actually be turned into a multiplayer map in the game, which makes this flick entertaining and informative.
X-Play presents Ghost Recon Alpha tomorrow night at 6:30, only on G4.
And coming up on X-Play, we're going to preview the oppressively dark Spec Ops The Line, and then we're going to lighten things up with some great games to play with the whole family, because we love drastic tonal shifts on the show.
We do. Plus, we're going to have the latest on the Devil May Cry reboot and a look at the bullet-ridden Max Payne 3. We will be right back.
Don't miss a second of the action on the world's toughest obstacle course. Watch American Ninja Warrior right now on demand.
With its 180 horsepower and its 6-speed transmission, the Scion TC is made to own the streets. With a 5-star overall safety rating and Scion Service Boost complimentary maintenance plan, the Scion TC is made to handle the streets.
Nobody does what Papa John's does.
You choose. For just $10, get a large pizza with your choice of any 2 toppings. That's Papa John's quality for just $10. Or for just $2 more, get any large pizza, even specialties. Plus, earn free pizza fast with Papa Rewards when you order at papajohns.com. Get a large pizza with your choice of any 2 toppings for just $10. Or for just $2 more, get any large pizza.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
The next time you fake wearing your seatbelt, remember this. Cops have been trained to spot seatbelt violations even at night. And they don't give out fake tickets. Day or night, click it or ticket.
This is Kevin.
Crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery Butterfinger.
Nobody's gonna lay a finger on my Butterfinger.
You guys are idiots.
What if the person who's meant for you is out there waiting? And what if eHarmony introduced you for free this weekend? Announcing the eHarmony Free Communication Weekend, Friday through Monday only. Get started today. Communicate with your matches free at eHarmony.com.
Welcome back to X-Play. One of the main selling points of the shooter Spec Ops: The Line is that you can kill enemies with sand and literally drown them in it. And yes, it's pretty satisfying. But you know what's even better? Doing it to people online and then calling them a bunch of names. Get all the details in this multiplayer preview.
If you're putting together an action game and your cited influences include Apocalypse Now, odds are you're not going to turn out a typical game. And in the case of Spec Ops: The Line, you're definitely not going to turn in typical multiplayer.
One of the things we really wanted to do is we wanted to really bring the main themes from the main game, really bring that forward to the multiplayer mode, and keeping the really strong elements of Dubai, the sand, and also this sort of squad dynamic. The narrative is really built around this squad as 4v4 multiplayer. As much as 32-player multiplayer games are fun, I barely know 31 other people that I can sync with and play online together. We like the idea of you playing with people you know, and sort of each person having their role within the game. So again, it's creating that sort of squad mechanic that people want to play closely together and move through the maps and play their role within that group.
Sand is a lot of things. Its witches are the hit of every party. After Legos, it's the second easiest castling material. And it's a nude beach's most frequent souvenir. But in Spec Ops: The Line, it becomes both weapon and smokescreen.
Sand is a big part of Spec Ops. We set the game in the middle of the desert, so it better be, right? So one of the things we really embraced it when developing the multiplayer modes and also the maps in the multiplayer game. And we have sand avalanches, and sand avalanches are created by sand pressed up against a huge glass window or a concrete wall, and you can actually trigger the sand avalanche by shooting it or throwing a grenade near it.
Take him out! Everyone move! And stay down!
The sandstorms are a huge element that we've had a lot of fun with. A lot of multiplayer games get bogged down between people sniping and camping and stuff like that, and sandstorms hit dynamically through the maps and they just change the game.
Just keep moving forward.
You can no longer sort of use long-range weapons at that point. Your visibility is taken down to like 5 feet in front of you. You lose the mini-map, so you're really all of a sudden you're really on your own in this map, and it really changes the sort of dynamic of the map. You can change the momentum of a game halfway through really well.
Spec Ops: The Line comes out for PC, Xbox 360, and PS3 on June 26th.
Okay, here's how I play video games. I stay up for days on end, and I completely shut out the rest of the world. Now, that's not exactly social or conducive to any kind of family life, so now that I'm a married man, I should probably acknowledge other people exist and game with them on occasion. If you're lost and confused like me, here's 5 games that deliver family fun, brought to you by Papa John's.
Families everywhere, it's time to pick up the phone and dial your dinner in. Whether you have a console or a mobile device, here are some games that'll turn quality time into something you and your kids will love.
Let's get underway.
In Angry Birds Space, the gameplay from one of the most downloaded series of apps returns, except this time with a new physics twist. If you want to give your kids a glimpse into how gravity works, this is probably the most fun way to do it. If your kids, on the other hand, want nothing more than an excuse to be silly, you can play Happy Action Theater. You'll pop balloons, wade in lava, and crush buildings like a clumsy Godzilla. It's the hyperactive child's dream game. Trust us. Connect Sports Season 2 is great for the more active families out there. You can play sports such as darts, baseball, tennis, golf, and even football.
It's in! Touchdown!
The family that wants to take their fun to a galaxy far, far away can play LEGO Star Wars 3. Not only is there co-op, but the LEGO-inspired aesthetic makes the game just far too endearing to pass up. Finally, in Connect Disneyland Adventures, Disney's theme park becomes your virtual playground. There are quests, escapades through the Matterhorn, and so much more. When you have classic characters and moments like these, you can't go wrong.
Oh, thank you so much.
So what are you waiting for? With these games and a quick phone call, you, Mom, and Dad have the recipe for a perfect night of family fun.
All right, a little change of tone here. Coming up after the break, find out why Dante looks like a junkie street kid in our preview of Devil May Cry. Plus, we're going to break down all of the gunplay mechanics in Max Payne 3. We'll be right back.
This portion of X-Play is delivered by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza.
Rated M for mature.
The will of a dragon, or the heart of a human.
Well met, young Arisen.
For one to prevail, the other must be broken.
Unleash yours. The new 2013 Mustang.
Does your phone share what you're seeing and hearing right now with a touch of a button?
This isn't solely our moment.
Droid does.
It's your classmates.
Does it post instantly to Facebook with sound?
One and all. And for a community that never,
Droid does.
never stop believing. This championship belongs to everyone.
Droid with color for Facebook. It's the ultimate status update. Get a Droid Razr Max by Motorola for only $199.99.
For 3 generations and 100 years, we've built our reputation on integrity and fairness. In keeping with our tradition, we offer top dollar for your unwanted gold, sterling silver, and diamonds. Trust the jeweler that's been serving all of your jewelry needs since 1912 to give you the best price for your old gold and diamonds. Our millions and millions of dollars of payout are millions of reasons why Reed's Gems has been trusted for all your jewelry needs since 1912.
After an accident, you might think it's best to wait and see before calling a lawyer.
Don't do it. If you've been injured, wait and see could be risky.
The insurance companies may try to use strict time deadlines and confusing rules to pay less than you deserve.
Don't wait. Call the day the accident happens so we can help protect your case and your family. Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 444-4444. Helping people. It's what we do.
Snow White and the Huntsman. June 1st.
Welcome back. Now, viewer Yahoo Melendez asked us a question on our Facebook page.
What is more important to you, great storytelling or great gameplay? Both! We want both!
Yeah, I mean,
We're terrible people. We want it all.
Once upon a time, I used to say great gameplay, because I think that storytelling had not advanced well enough in games. But now, gameplay without a good story is just kind of unmotivated, and it becomes repetitive.
Okay, but here I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit. You know when there's like a terrible story in a racing game, you're like, just leave out the story and tell me to go around the track, and I'll be like, sweet, I'll go around the track.
Well, also, with games like that, where kind of your engagement with it, say a race, is short, it's sweet, you don't need the same kind of thing, but if you're shooting, if you're hacking things to bits, you need to know why.
Yeah.
All right, if you've got a question for us, all you have to do is go to facebook.com/xplay and ask away. We might actually answer it.
All right, here's how we knew the Devil May Cry series ran out of steam. In the middle of part 4, you went back and you replayed every level in the game, but backwards.
Yeah, that was not a high point. Capcom realized that too and decided to hit the reset button. DMC is a reboot with a new look and new developers. Here's a preview.
Ninja Theory and Capcom are rebooting the Devil May Cry franchise with the upcoming DMC, which will introduce a whole new Dante.
I don't know my mother, but if you're calling me a son of a bitch, you wouldn't be the first.
We had, of course, worked on Devil May Cry 1 through 4, and it just felt like it was a good time to try something new and different with the franchise. And in doing something like that, we thought it would be good to bring it a little more westward, so to speak. We thought it best to do kind of a rebirth sort of angle, rather than make it a numbered sequel that for some reason was different from the others.
Sweet.
Capcom Japan had come to Capcom USA and asked us to source a developer that might bring a more Western flavor to it, and that maybe it was time to modernize it for the taste of a more contemporary audience.
Picked a bad day for a hangover.
There's been a backlash since the announcements. There's a lot of people that who were never interested in DMC who now are. But for the loyal fans, the ones that were there from the beginning, it's quite a big departure from the original series.
We've been telling people for the last year and a half or so, wait for it, and you get the game in your hand, you'll see. And it's a relief for our standpoint now to actually be in a position to hand people the game. There were stylistic and tonal changes that I think were necessary to update the franchise. Well, Dante's always been known for being an irreverent, funny character, and it was really important to preserve that about him. He's in a darker world, so his humor is going to be a little less cheeky and a little more sardonic, dark.
Hey Bob, put a spin on this.
Although fanboys cried foul early on, Ninja Theory says the game will deliver the action-packed combat Devil May Cry fanatics expect.
So this game does feature the kind of responsive and fast gameplay that you would be accustomed to from your typical Devil May Cry games. I think you are going to find two major changes this time around. One aspect that is new is the angel and demon powers that Dante has. So the player can switch it real time anytime they choose between the sort of demonic and angelic halves of Dante's personality. Another big change is until now the Devil May Cry games have been largely focused on ground-based combat. This time around we've added a new dimension to that.
Provided the gameplay lives up to its predecessors, the evolution of Dante should be interesting to watch. Keep standing by for info on a yet-to-be-announced release date.
I wonder if Capcom named his guns Dashboard and Confessional. All right, stick around. We've got more X-Play after the break. Like a preview of Max Payne 3, shooting people with two guns while diving in slow motion is still awesome, and you're going to see some of that right after this.
Once a year, gaming stops playing and gets down to business. G4, the official broadcaster of E3, brings it all to you.
That's the game I want to play.
The new consoles, new games, and new ways to play.
All the games straight to you.
It's a week-long television event. E3 2012 Live starts June 4th, only on G4.
I'm Philippe Kahn, and I created the camera phone.
I'm Ray Kurzweil.
I gave your words a voice.
I created the ability to share video.
We turned your smartphone into a musical genius.
And I turned it into a bank.
I created Instagram.
I created the first text message.
We created Words with Friends.
And we created a better way to buy a smartphone. Any phone, any carrier, and all of their plans, with lots of unbiased advice.
So, your seat good? Get the mirrors all adjusted, you can see everything okay? Just stay off the freeways, all right? I don't want you going out on those yet. Just leave your phone in your purse. I don't want you texting, okay?
Daddy, okay?
Okay. There you go. Be careful.
Thanks, Dad.
Call me, but not while you're driving. We knew this day was coming. That's why we bought a Subaru.
plantain fruit flavor. Jolly Rancher.
Let's ring you up.
Mary? What are you doing here?
It's Megan. I'm getting new insurance.
Marjorie, you've had a policy with us for 3 years.
It's been 5 years.
5 years.
Well, Progressive gives Megan discounts that you guys didn't.
Paperless, safe driver, and I get great service.
Meredith, what's shaking, bacon?
They'll figure it out.
Getting you the discounts you deserve. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
I need the dollar, 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 that's what I need. Hey, hey. Well, I need the dollar, 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 that's what I need. Hey, hey. Said I need the dollar, 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 that's what I need. And if I share with you my story, would you share?
We hear you. That's why now Boost offers unlimited talk and text for as low as $30 a month. Boost Mobile. Be heard.
Pizza Hut combined awesome taste with big value to bring you the $10 dinner box. Your favorite medium one-topping pan pizza, 5 breadsticks, and 10 cinnamon sticks for $10. Pizza Hut. Make it great.
It's been many years since we last saw Max Payne in action, so there's going to be some changes coming in Part 3 this May. One of them is the addition of a cover system, but if you think this series is going to turn into Gears of War stop-and-pop action, Rockstar Games says otherwise.
Max Payne may now be bald with a Magnum PI sense of fashion, but he can still bullet time like a badass. We found out just how he does it from Rockstar Games' very own Geronimo Barrera.
One of the things that we wanted to do when we took on the project was to stay as true to the original games as possible. And we did that by keeping the core mechanics the same. There's bullet time, there's shoot dodge, there's no regenerating health, you have to take painkillers. We did add a couple things just to, bring it into the modern age.
What happened, Max?
One of those is a cover system. Not to scare people, but cover is cool in this game, and it's not a cover-based game. Cover's there when you need a little break from the bullets to take your painkiller, then run out again. Stay in it too long, you're gonna get smoked.
Cover-based combat and magically curing gunshot wounds with prescription drugs is great, but we all know Max Payne is all about one thing.
It's very safe to say that the bullet time kind of thing was started with the Max Payne franchise. So how do you kind of retain, what people know and what they expect, but again, kind of develop it and introduce it to a whole new audience?
Well, I think one of the things is the game needed to hold up in slow motion. And for current consoles and on the PC, which is super high-end, we needed to be the most connected, realized experience that we could create in slow motion. So every roll, everything you pick up, everything you touch, you communicate in the world with your gun. So everything you shoot has to be destructible. The reactions to the enemies has to look real and feel visceral. And I think we really achieved that.
Just another day at the office, huh?
The more risks you take and the more accurate your gunplay, the faster your bullet time meter will refill. And the faster you can do this again. Max Payne 3 is just days away from slow-mo leaping into your living room. Time to shave that head and practice jumping sideways. Tomorrow on X-Play, we'll have previews of the latest from Capcom, Resident Evil 6 and Lost Planet 3, plus an exclusive demo of Transformers Fall of Cybertron. Then be sure to tune in on Thursday, May 3rd for an explosive premiere. X-Play presents Ghost Recon Alpha. We'll exclusively debut the live-action movie from Ubisoft Motion Pictures, which is a prequel to the upcoming game Ghost Recon Future Soldier. And you do not want to miss X-Play's summer preview. We'll have the latest on all of the hottest games, with exclusive looks at Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead, Spec Ops: The Line, and the Dragon Age animated movie. The week-long event kicks off Monday, May 14th at 6:30.
All right, plus, we're going to be recommending some reading in Collector's Edition.
We got some good books. You kind of look like Max Payne a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I definitely did the shaving head thing and the beard. I don't know about the jumping sideways or forward or up.
I feel like you could do it. Maybe not.
Yeah, you would like to hear me cry.
Thanks
That's
for watching X Play. I do.